How are you guys finding today? How's the event been?
It's been amazing. Such a great vibe and amazing event.
Love it. Good. Beck?
Well, I always knew that accountants could party, but this time, I think we're going to see it soon.
Amazing. So good. So what's been your favourite part of the day?
To be honest with you, coming to an event where you really have to select the section because they're so damn good, missing out while it feels a bit FOMO is actually really worthwhile when they're really, really good content every session.
I think all the sessions were amazing and I could have gone to multiple ones of them, so I'm really looking forward to the recording. But I just think, I think the vibe and having, accountants speaking and sharing their perspective, I think that's so powerful that we're not just being spoken to from software companies in all of the sessions. It really was, really honest and frank, experiences. And I love the fact that there were so many people who were speaking who had never spoken before at an event. So it was their first time, and I know there was lots of nerves, but gee, they had a lot to offer. So I hope that, that continues.
Love it.
And it gives them so much confidence. Yeah,
absolutely will. I mean, I hate it when those software people try to tell us accountants how to do things.
Look, I love the software companies and I love what they do, but I just think it's nice to have that balance. I'm all about balance.
Absolutely.
The balance firm. So I think it's nice to have that balanced amount of content.
Yeah.
And also, from vendors, from people, and wonderful.
Very cool. All right. First hard-hitting question. Do you think accountants and bookkeepers are becoming too reliant on technology to do their jobs?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's even worse for accountants who are coming through. They're not learning the human skills that, we get when we have the tough conversation, when we have the surprise and delight conversation, when we have the celebration conversation. They're not a part of it because they don't necessarily have that human connection, and they're not able to see through the numbers, see through the text, see through all of the things that we think we're great at, which we are great at and we need to be great at, but there's so much missing there in the education, which I would really love to see more of, and less reliance on firms to teach that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think, first and foremost, accountants are in the business of relationships. And I've always said that, relationship building. So we need to have a really good combination of technical skills and relationship skills. And the technology is just one piece of the pie that helps us do these things, but we shouldn't always rely on it. So people tend to rely on it, but they can't do it manually, or they're relying on something like ChatGPT to have a conversation and to do things. They still need to know, the tone, how to have, as Beck said, the difficult conversations, and really having the confidence to do that. So, I think some of the old school stuff, look, again, it's a balance piece. We want to be utilising technology, but we also need to know levers to pull and other things like that, which we don't necessarily get by just plugging things into a piece of software or just having that process completely automated. We do need to have that human connection. I think the accountants who have that and who thrive on that will be the ones who will actually make the most of AI and the tech, because they're using it as just one of the tools, but it's not the be-all and end-all.
Love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm conscious of these guys trying to come through, but I think they're going to the other side, so that's fine. So there's a stereotype. Accounting and bookkeeping is generally considered a boring profession. Talk to me. Where is the stereotype coming from? Do we think accountants and bookkeepers are to blame for the stereotype? Why is this happening to us?
Look, I did used to work for those blue people, so that's a really hitting note for me. I think that the difference has really shifted. I think accountants have predominantly been known as IQ people, so really smart, intelligent people, type A people, spreadsheet people, etc. And then we became the IQ plus TQ, like what's your tech quotient, how do you get really good at tech, what's that look like in your business, etc., etc. And I think it's actually the question before, it's the EQ that makes this job really exciting. It's the conversations about profitability. It's the conversations about how do we help you and engage with you to have freedom of time, freedom of money, and freedom of relationships. At the end of the day, that's what we want as individuals, and that's what we want as business owners. So we as firms have got to be able to take that on more and then also extend that beyond to our clients as well.
Love it.
Okay, what's the question again?
I'll ask you the question again, and I'm conscious I'm going to ask you two other questions as well. So feel free, 2 sentences. The first part is really everything you've said so far is awesome, and then I'll cut out.
Yeah, fine. Yeah,
So the stereotype.
Yeah, stereotype.
Yeah, stereotypes. Why do we have a stereotype? How do we solve it?
Yeah, I think stereotyping has probably come from others, right? So, particularly from people who've been in the industry for a long time, like myself, it's like you have to act a certain way. You have to do things a certain way. And I think when I started my practice, I wasn't a rebel, but I knew that I think I was, a bit of a trailblazer in a lot of things, and I didn't want to do it that way. So I actually trusted myself to actually change that perception. So, one of the things is I do wear a lot of colour. I always have it in my practice. I had colour in my practice, which was something very new in the early 2000s. So I think, that's how we've been conformed. And if you want to be successful, you've got to do it this way. And I think those that can think outside the square bring their own flair, their own individuality. And I think we're really embracing that now, whether, we've been doing it for some time, but I think a lot of the younger ones coming through are really want to there's certain things they want to do, certain things they don't want to do, and they're happy to call that out early. So I really think, it's the profession, and we're told to do it this way. And it's really lovely. And even this event. And I know David said, how many female speakers are actually speaking here. And I think that's also part of that breaking the stereotype, that we are very confident in our ability on how we can make a difference in people's lives and not being afraid of bringing our whole self, our whole authentic self, and actually that human element.
In today's world.
Well, I could tell you a long and winded story, but I won't. I will say that the answer is absolutely. I picked up a textbook more recently, and one of the characters in the fake tax return was named Winifred Blue. So culturally, let's just sit with that. If that's the textbook that I'm picking up, let's just imagine what the rest is saying. And that's where I'm feeling that it's at. Yeah. We can have a long conversation about it.
I can't wait to unpack that one.
Yeah. Look, I think up until now, yes, it has been a lot of people who've actually been very traditional. But I think that we're all realising there is more than just an accounting qualification, and there is so many other elements. So I really love seeing that, CAA and Z are bringing out new pathways. So we're looking at people who've not been to university and knowing that they can bring a lot to the table. We're looking at people that have got other degrees in different disciplines and knowing that it's not just about being good at maths or being, good using a calculator or a spreadsheet. There is so many more elements. So I really love the fact that we are embracing the diversity of what it actually takes to actually provide good business and advisory advice. And it's not necessarily just accounting. There are so many more elements. That is obviously the forefront of a lot of things, but having that change management piece, having the ability to think, more laterally and not just logically. That's what brings all those things to the fore. So I think we're going to see a lot of changes in our industry, and we need to be really open-minded to that.
Love it. Very good. My lucky last question for you. What is the most overhyped thing in the accounting industry right now? Overhyped.
Controversial AI. For me, look, I love the AI tools. I use a lot in my business for different areas. But I think, again, with what we do, so much of it is about human connection. And yes, you can become a prompt master. You can make custom GPTs, but it still requires the level of detail analysis that accountants have innate in them, as well as the ability to have those tough conversations and really be able to communicate on an emotional level with somebody. And I really do think it's still going to be a really big part of what we do, but I think it doesn't have to dictate what we do. I think it complements what we do, and we need to really find that balance as well.
For me, that's so right.
The most overhyped thing in accounting.
I mean, Look, I people. I don't really say hype me.
Something we're all talking about that you don't think deserves it. Something that's getting all the hype, that think that was a waste of time.
Which has something. No, there's some of this test stuff. So, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got it.
The most overhyped thing in accounting today.
I think one of the things, following on from what Beck said about AI is about to take our jobs. I don't believe that is the case, because I think it's going to definitely help us do our jobs. And those that embrace it will actually, I think, achieve more fulfillment and more success. But I think it's not the be all and end all. But I think we need to, use it responsibly and, use it to save time. But it's like all these, technology was supposed to give us our lives back, give us more work-life balance, make things easier. We have not seen that. And I certainly don't believe it's actually resulted in greater profitability for a lot of companies and a lot of practice owners. But I think, that was a big hype about using the technology. I love it, but it's all got to be, balanced with everything that we're using. But I think the AI issue is something that there is a lot of hype about it. I don't think we can ignore it, but I think we can use it to amplify and have richer conversations. But that's the way I'd like to see it being used, not about replacing team members or replacing something. It is there to enhance what we do and the advice that we give.
Perfect. You nailed it. Thanks.